Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host and your favorite website to learn how to play banjo, guitar, and mandolin. We're wrapping up the Christmas season here on the website. We've had a lot of fun, learned a lot of fun stuff, and now we're learning this mandolin solo to this beautiful guitar mandolin duet of Away in the Manger. I hope you enjoyed that. Here's what we've got for you, about a 30-minute lesson teaching you every single note of the solo, as well as how to play the backup behind the guitar solo. I've got a lot of tips and techniques as to how you do that. And then we've got another video where I play the whole thing through very slowly from start to finish. We've got tabs in both PDF and TEF file formats. And then we've got three different MP3s that you can download. You can practice along with. I've got one where just the guitar is soloed so you can play mandolin. And then for you guitar players, as you already know, if you've been on the site, I've got it the other way around. So you've got just enough time to get this one ready before Christmas, okay? So if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, here in a moment, I'll ask you to go over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com, where you can become a gold member, have access to this lesson as well as hundreds of others, including tabs and MP3s. I'd be honored to have you on board. Merry Christmas to all of y'all. The King is born. Let's dive into the first note of this solo. Let's learn this basic solo for Away in the Manger on mandolin. It's in the key of D. This is a basic solo that I know all of you can learn even in time for Christmas this year. There's a couple big tips that we need to keep in mind as we learn this solo. One is that it's a slow melody and it's a slow version. So I do have, let's go ahead and throw the tab up there. I do have my pick stroke directions beneath each one of the notes, up and down arrows. It stands for up or down strokes. You could technically play this whole thing with all down strokes if you wanted, except for the tremolo parts. Okay, so those are subjective there, and you can take them as you'd like. The other thing is, since it's slow and the melody notes are spaced apart, we have a lot of filler notes. Okay, so we're going to try to accent our melody notes and have the volume of those filler notes be a little bit more soft. Okay, now if you'll remember in the performance of this, it starts with a guitar solo and the mandolin's doing backup. And then we have a mandolin solo, then it goes back to a guitar solo. We're going to start learning the mandolin solo here at the end of measure 19. And then the next video segment, we will learn how to play the backup for the guitar solos in case you're doing this as a duet. But the actual melody for the solo starts on the next to last note, measure 19. That's on the 2nd fret of our E string. And we're just going to play 2, 3, and then in measure 20, away. We've got that 5th fret up there, and we want to play that kind of loud because that's our melody note. But then we come back through the A string and the D string. Those are those filler notes. They're going to sound a little quieter. Then we've got some more melody notes up here. 3, 2, and then a filler note on our A string. So let me just play at the end of measure 19, end of measure 20. You can hear what that sounds like. You hear how I accent the melody. And another thing I want to do is keep down my notes that I've played until I'm forced to move them. So when you play that 5th fret in measure 20, keep that down until you have to play that 3rd fret. It won't sound right to cut it off. We don't want that. We want it to be legato. As we get to measure 21, manger, no crib for a bed. So we're listening for our melody, which is right here on that 2nd fret. So we're going to play it a little louder, come down through those same 2 strings, and then we've got our melody, the last 2 notes in measure 21, open E string, and then rest on the 5th fret of the A string. So measure 21. Now keep that down. Crib for a bed. For crib, we're going to do a brush, measure 22, a brush through the G, D, and A strings, and try to make it. We can tell that it's a brush, but we don't come through it so fast that it's like a chop. We just play through it, and then for the 2nd beat there, we're going to do a quick slide from 2nd to 4th fret on the A string with our index finger. Then play the E string, and then back to the 2nd fret. So that's what that sounds like. That's just a really pretty way of stating a very simple melody. Now when we get to bed in 23, I'm going to do a little tremolo here. And there's a couple different ways to do this. You can either tremolo it as fast as you want and try to get as many notes in there as you want. Or I broke it down into triplet trills. So I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so I'm playing 4 pairs of notes. And then landing on the A string. Triplet, triplet, 1. So I like to do that because the tremolo stays in time with the song. And you may just want to count how many downstrokes you do. That's what I didn't put the pick stroke directions beneath the trills in measure 23 because it's obvious you start with a down and you alternate. Now in 24, we're going to go to an A chord, and I'm just going to place my index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And their melody is actually tucked away in there in the A string. So we're going to strum through that, brush through that, and then open A string, 2nd fret, and then we're going to play both the A and E strings together while we hammer on from 2nd to 4th fret. Okay, and as we get to measure 25, we just have 3 quarter notes there. The first one's an open A string, and then I want you to come up and grab the 7th fret with your middle finger, and we're going to play that 7th fret of the A string along with our open E string on purpose because we're going to be sliding back for that 4th fret. And so we want that E note to ring out as we're sliding. And then we pick it again once we slide back. So 25 sounds like this. Let's play measures 21 through 25 slowly. And by the way, we have another video here on the site that I play the whole thing through very slowly, much slower than this even. Good. We're getting it done. Measure 26.